So let's start by choosing a single sound in our drum kit to program. I'm going to use the kick drum to begin my pattern, and I'm going to turn the metronome on by clicking this box here and pressing a spacebar to trigger playback. So what we're hearing is the metronome counting off the measures, and the higher pitch note represents the downbeat or first beat of any measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to program the kick drum on beats 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a number of ways to program that part, and I'm going to show you the two which I think make the most sense. So the first is to play in the part. So again, making sure that the metronome is on and that I'm listening to it as a guide as I record this, I'm going to press play again to trigger playback, and then I'm going to press one of these record icons inside of an empty cell, and you can see here now it's recording whatever I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And once I've got some usable material, I'm going to press the icon again, and we're immediately starting to loop. So I'm going to scroll down here so we can see the kick pattern. And we've got some empty space in the beginning and the end, which isn't really serving us any purpose, so I'm going to adjust the start and stop markers by grabbing both of them using this bracket icon and then dragging them over to, again, the whole numbers. This is really important. I'm just going to turn this into a 2-bar loop. And then I'm going to use the magnifying glass to zoom on in so we can get a closer look at this. So once I've identified the area I want to use and I've isolated it, I can edit this MIDI by doing a few things. I can click on the event and I can drag it around wherever I want it to be. And I'm using this grid on the top. I know this is the third beat of this measure, and this is where I want the kick to occur. So I'm just moving them over. Looks like I was pretty good on most of these other sections. So I'm going to undo that so we can see another way that this can happen. I'm going to just move these even more so they're a little more off. So another way to do this is to quantize. And I'm going to just select all of the events by highlighting them, sort of like highlighting text. And then I'm going to go up to the Edit drop-down menu here and select Quantize from this drop-down menu, and you can see everything just snapped right into place. So quantization in this sense basically means that we're attempting to take out any of the imperfections of a performance by snapping the events to their closest assumed place on a grid. So this might seem a little confusing at first, and it's not always an exact science. But for now, I would just think of quantization as a quick fix or a way for you to keep moving forward without having to stop and move things around or pick them apart. So besides the timing, we also have the ability to adjust how loud something is being played, which is also known as the velocity. Along the bottom of the MIDI clip here, you're going to see these red vertical lines with a circle at the top each time. There's a kick drum programmed. So if I select this one and drag down, you can see I'm adjusting how loud or soft something is being played. And you'll also notice that these are all set to the same velocity, and that's because I used my computer's keyboard to program them, so they're all just given a default velocity setting. But if you used your MIDI controller to do this, there already may be a significant amount of variation between each event depending on how hard or soft you hit a key. So the other way to program in a MIDI part is by clicking in the areas on the grid where you want the hits to occur. And as we move forward, my suggestion is to create a duplicate clip each time you add an idea so that you can always go back to any point you'd like to in the creative process, sort of like an internal save as, if you will. So we're going to do this by copying this clip. I am using the key command, Command C, and selecting the empty cell below it, and I'm pasting it in, and then I'm launching this version of that same clip. So now I want to program the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. And first I need to find where the snare drum lives on the left-hand side here. It's just a few above the kick drum. And then I'm going to locate where the second beat is happening in this measure. So I'm looking at 4.2 here. So this is the square where the event should occur. And so now I'm just going to double click in that area. Here's the 4th beat. Measure 5, beat 2. Measure 5, beat 4. So now I'm going to press playback and we should hear this pattern. Perfect. So now I want to add in a third pattern, and I'm going to start by duplicating this clip again. I'm copying and then pasting in, and launching the clip here. So now we're looking at the third version. So I want to play in a hi-hat pattern, but since there's no record icon on the left here, it's going to be a slightly different approach to playing the notes in. So in order to record over this clip, we need to enable session record, which is this empty record icon located at the top middle of the interface. So I'm going to press it, and you'll see that this record icon now turns red. The cursor is running, and it's going to be recording whatever I do here. So I'm just going to go ahead and play my part in. And you can see it's just loop recording at this point. I'm recording over these hi-hat parts, and it's not always happening at the same time. So pressing stop, I can zoom in here, and you can edit just the way we were before. You can move something around, you can delete something, or to quickly fix this, I'm just going to select all of these hits, just like I did before, and then I'm going to choose quantize from the edit menu, and it's just going to move everything for me really quickly. And now I'll press play, and there's our pattern.